What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Neek the Podcast, and I've got a special episode for you today. I am here with members of the Destiny Xbox One clan crew. Do you want to be called clan? Is that kind of racist?
Kind of racist.
Kind of racist?
Kind of racist.
You're a crew.
That's fine.
Okay. You're a crew now. The Kill Battalion. Dan and Alex.
What's up, guys? I'm Dan.
That is Dan.
I'm Alex. How's it going?
And the other voice should obviously be Alex. You didn't even have to say hello. They know now. But we're here to talk about some Destiny stuff. These guys have played a ton of Destiny, way more than I have played Destiny. They've even beat Skolas a few times without taking other members of their clan with them, you bastards. So let's start with Alex. He's the pretty one. Alex, you're a beautiful man. Why don't you tell us how much have you invested into Destiny at this point?
I'm well above 600 hours, probably above 700 hours. I've done everything on the year one Destiny, whatever you need to do, and that little,
The moments of triumph.
Moments of triumph, there you go. I've beaten Skolas, I don't know half a dozen times now, relatively easy. We can walk through raids. Really the only thing I really need to do, which I was just doing about 10 minutes ago, was trying to get the last of the ghosts. I only have 46 out of 50. And I need the Epic Raider, so not dying while raiding. I have virtually every gun except for the Gallarhorn, which, love-hate relationship.
Yep, exactly. Dan, how many hours have you put in?
Last check was 16 days, so do the math. I just checked out the Destiny app, found out 16
Several
days.
months.
So yeah, it's just a lot of days. I'm in the same boat as Alex. I've gotten Skolas killed a couple times. I've done everything on the Moments of Triumph. I have all but 4 of the exotic weapons, and one of them is the Necrochasm, which we're not even going to get into because that was a moment of bitterness for me, just a little bit. And
I actually played with a guy last night who had that gun.
Did you really?
Yes, it was like his only exotic too, and I was just like, really now? Interesting.
Yeah, it took me. It's still haven't gotten Husk of the Pit. I have the Crux of Crota. I have the level 4. I have the other thing we need, whatever it's called, the Embalming Orb. The only thing I don't have is the base gun, which should be the easiest part to get. But go figure.
They fixed that. Yeah. They fixed that in the update yesterday.
They did. I've been trying for about 4 hours. Still haven't gotten it.
Oh, okay.
For me.
That's
So for me, it's not fixed, but.
Okay, so the Kill Battalion. I am a member of it. I have actually touted it on the show several times before, but since I am a newer member, even though I do know I guess, nobody's really called him the leader, but he is the leader, the great Jim Pike. Tell us how it got started. Tell me how it got started, the Kill Battalion. And this better includes some pantless nights with tequila.
Oh man, I can't even begin to tell you the Kill Battalion origins. I'll let Alex chime in here too, but at least for us, it was I played with Alex one night, and one of the members of the Kill Battalion, Pharaoh, was playing with us, or it might have been Creeps actually. I think it was Creeps.
I think it was we just joined a random group for a raid.
Yep, we joined a random group. We were bullshitting the whole time, making a lot of jokes, and Pharaoh was like, "These guys are pretty cool. If you want to join our little clan we got on Xbox, you can come and hang out." So we did, and through that we met Jim, and we met.
I think there was a lot of drinking involved too, but we were all in different locations.
But yeah, since then you are correct. There's been many pantsless nights due to it's not tequila, it's mostly whiskey for me at least. And I know Gunner as well. Jim does that too. But yeah, it's a lot of whiskey, a lot of playing, a lot of drunk driving nights. Not actual drunk driving.
The Sparrow. You're drunk driving the Sparrow.
Exactly.
Which even sober feels like you're drunk driving. I am a little upset with you, Dan, I got to tell you, because Jim did not wake up comatose on Sunday after your drunken golf day with his kids poking him with a stick. That needs to be rectified, man.
Dude, I can't even begin to tell you. Like, he drank a half a bottle of Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah, he should have been pretty much face down, sleeping on a floor.
Yeah, I don't know how he made it.
He had no kids. His wife was at work. He was in the clear.
I'm telling you, his wife, she's a nurse, so I'm pretty sure she came home with an IV and just stuck it in his arm and goes, "Go to town, honey."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
that's the only way to do it. All right. You guys got some origins. You guys got some a little background info on Dan and Alex. So let's actually get into the nitty-gritty. Destiny. Obviously, you both love the game. I know I love the game. I took a long time off, which was why I was so behind. But I do love Destiny. what is it about Destiny that really makes you guys keep coming back time and time again, even though, let's be honest, we're all doing the same crap over and over and over?
Alex, go first.
Sure. So for me, I'm a huge Halo guy. So I played back in the day. I used to play Halo 2 constantly. I'd get home from work or school, whatever it was, and just nonstop Halo. It has those exact same mechanics, except for it involves loot and lots of long little quests or raids or whatever it is, and the RPG elements. So I'm highly addicted to Halo. RPG elements, and I'm a well-documented loot addict. I will follow loot to the ends of the earth, so long as it's in the video game. So basically, I've been telling Dan this for a long time. I was like, yeah, Destiny, whenever it drops, I was like, this is pretty much the perfect storm of what can get me going. So it has its hooks in me pretty deep. Although right now I would say I'm kind of in a little bit of a lull because I've done pretty much everything you can do without the next expansion, except for Husk of the Pit and Galahorn.
You're definitely in that waiting circle, or
yeah, but I keep coming back. Like right now, I'm doing the Ghosts or whatever it is. Like they have good elements to it, and it's pretty hard to get away from.
I will pick it up from here. I am not a Halo guy, so if you don't want to follow Kill Battalion, there's a reason not to right there. I never have been. I was always I played every single campaign. I got the original Xbox for Halo, so it's not like I'm oblivious to it. I've beaten every one of them. I've played my fair share of Bungie games. I enjoy them, but for whatever reason, Halo is never my sticking point. I was always a Call of Duty guy, which I know, and you can kill me if you want to. But for whatever reason, Destiny feels like a perfect combination of both Call of Duty and Halo. Like it's a little faster, twitchier, and a little heavier, I think, than Bungie's game, like Bungie's fast games in Halo were. And then you get the extra, like the precision shots and the RPG elements and all that stuff is really what got me. The raid, the first time I did Vault of Glass, when I wasn't really capable of doing it, that's when it kind of was like, oh, this is something you're gonna like because this takes a lot of effort. Now, fast forward 16 days worth of time left, and it's there. I mean, there's just so many times you can kill Crota in 20 minutes, but I'm a huge fan. I mean, it's just there's something about the game. I mean, no storyline, and I still like it. So I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it, but I love it. So.
Do you think that you would have played as much if you didn't have the clan to constantly play with, or to have the people to talk to while doing some of the longer raid stuff?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'd agree with Dan. If there wasn't as many people to play with online, if we didn't always have a raid team available, we wouldn't play as much because it was 2 or 3 of us playing pretty consistently. And then when we get to always having like 6 or 8 people online, always being able to do everything possible, you can do it. Because one of the biggest knocks on Destiny, and I find it difficult too, is not having matchmaking for some of the harder level things. You can't matchmake for raids. You can't matchmake for the Prison of Elders, which you can at 28, but at this point you don't really do a 28.
Sure.
It is also very difficult to get good matchmaking for those because Skolas is still extremely difficult. And doing like Vault of Glass on hard, if people don't know what they're doing, it's very hard.
Yeah, if you don't have that strategy down, for sure.
But the whole matchmaking element, not being able to have a team there, is kind of a big thing.
I'm actually surprised that they haven't pushed matchmaking into a lot of that stuff in a lot of MMOs, and this is where we're going to go next. They will, have the harder stuff non-matchmaking at first, and then as time goes by, make it matchmaking. Once, the better, I guess, people who actually have, crews or clans or whatever, or guilds, depending on what you're playing, go through and beat them, and then more people start complaining, I didn't get a chance to do this because I have no friends. So maybe we'll see that when Taken King comes out, or
you gotta hope for it.
Yeah,
you gotta hope for it. At this point, you really do. The raids is not a huge deal. There's plenty of raid finder apps. Like you can find a party pretty much anywhere. But the biggest problem is like Skolas especially, and probably more like Crota, because Vault of Glass, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. That's not that difficult. But Crota, for the timing of the rockets to hit him, and then Skolas for the entirety of the fight, you need to have people communicating. If you can't talk, you're screwed. You can't silence your way through those matches. So
the one time I went through Skolas with you, even halfway through the actual Skolas fight, I was like, yeah, this shit would be really hard to do with people you don't know. because we know how to talk to each other. Like, you know, if you start screaming bail at us, we're not going to be like, who does this dick think he is leading the party? Although we did think that, and now we're making a drinking game out of it, which Alex...
I did. Yeah. I heard a rumor of this.
Me and Jim were talking about it. Yeah, every time Dan says bail during Skolas, he take a shot. And Jim was like, I don't want to die in the first 2 minutes of the fight. I was like, don't worry about it. But
it's like 3 handles worth.
That is. Jim would actually have to move it down to Wild Turkey 11 proof. That's what would have to, if he wanted to survive that. But on the MMO front, I've always noticed that a lot of the outrage that's happened with Destiny, and a lot of the reason that people got upset about the DLCs and have left the game, is because they view the game as a retail release with just really crappy DLC. And I've always taken the standpoint that it is more of an MMO without a sub fee, so the DLC is not going to be great. Do you think that there is confusion about that with as much as you guys have played it?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think there is confusion. I think everyone who started reviewing it very early on, even they were confused as to what is this? Is this a first-person shooter? Is this an MMO? Are they more MMO elements? Are there more RPG elements? Like they're trying to figure out a genre in which they fit, and I'd say they're most closely tied to MMO, but kind of exactly what you said. They're MMO, but there's no sub fee, so then you're kind of getting minimal content, but at the same time, the content has to be pretty substantial to keep you to come back. That's why people were so upset with Crota, because Crota, that's a minimal, like, there was nothing in the storyline, and that was a very small raid.
Yeah, the Dark Below was, I mean, even if there was a sub fee, that was still pretty shitty. There wasn't a lot to do in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd agree that it's necessarily like a split. I think that MMOs on consoles are still such a completely new subject at this point. Like, they're not. I'm trying to think of a game right now. Actually, the best analog I can come up with is Smite right now, where it's like you're kind of blurring the lines between a PC game and an Xbox game, or a console game, rather. So I feel like that whole idea of we're paying for the first game, like the first block of content, and then everything else comes out is going to be another chunk of money. And I think people really haven't gotten, like, you got the Call of Duty map packs, and people can wrap their head around, like, okay, well, this is the addition to that particular game, and that's all it is. But, like, each one of the DLCs for Destiny is like, here's the Dark Below. This is an entire set of story missions and a raid. And even though, size and length requirements stats aside, it's not that substantial. But it is an entire segment of the game. I mean, it's a whole section. So, I mean, the new one was pretty good. I mean, which one?
Yeah, I agree. The House of Wolves was great.
Yeah, it was a good. I don't like that there wasn't a raid. I like the Skolas fight. I like the Prison of Elders. I think it's a good addition. Everyone wants another raid. I mean, that's just the reality of it. You got one once, and now it's all you want to do. But yeah, I think it's just a foreign subject, and it's going to be something that's going to be the lines are going to blur a little more, especially now that Windows 10 and Xbox is making that sort of merge. You're going to see a lot more games that would normally be a PC game end up being like, this can also be done on Xbox. It may not be the same or as good or whatever, but they can be doing it both ways. And I think it's just a matter of the actual market now. It's going that way. So.
Do you also think that maybe some of the confusion happens because it's a first-person shooter? Granted, you have games like EVE Online and some other games that utilize first-person shooter elements, but on the console market, I can't remember besides Borderlands, which really wasn't MMO because you didn't see other characters in the game space. Like, they could find you on a list, hop in your game if they wanted and whatnot. Do you think that's some of the confusion too?
Definitely. I mean, Borderlands to me it's an RPG that's based around guns. I mean, it's got a leveling system, so it's like their easiest marketing sell ever was it's Call of Duty, but your entire base is off guns, and there's like millions of guns that you level up. So you're looting. You're basically playing
lots of loot.
Yeah, you're basically playing Call of Duty, but with a looting element to it. That's really all it is, because you're not actually rolling stats. You're just rolling guns.
Sure.
So it's like it's not that much of a difference, but yeah, because I think the closest analog I can come up with in the attempt for this was Defiance. Remember that game for like PS3? It came out. Was it Defiance?
Yeah, it was tied to the television show.
Right. Yeah, that was the game that was attempting to be like you could pop on at any time, and it's just completely like perpetual world where people are always going to be popping in and out. But I mean, it wasn't that successful, so it's not like it's a big install base where people are like, oh, we know what to expect out of this. This is something new.
Sure.
So, you know,
okay.
Destiny just carried the hype. I mean, they had a leg up right off the bat, though. I mean, they're a Bungie game. They go, we were the guys that made Halo, and it's okay, we're set. That's all we needed. So now it's just adjusting the expectations as they go forward. So
I think the only thing that they really need to adjust in the future is the storyline. That's like the only like missing element from that game, because once you get into a group of people that you can play with all the time, then it's not, God, I'm having to solo all this crap and, you know, go through all these long missions by myself. But, you know, you're still missing, like, well, why am I, you know, fighting Crota, really? Because he just shows up and he's ugly? That's prejudice.
it is. It's not his fault.
I
He's
think
ugly.
they're correcting that with the newest release, with the 2.0 or whatever you want to call it, or Taken King.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of kind of cutscenes that they're showing. Now the Ghost is going to be able to interact with the environment, so you're going to hover over a soldier or something like that, and they're going to speak more about that. Or Nolan North will, not the Dinklebot, as he was bounced for Hollywood reasons.
It was scheduling difficulties.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
It wasn't lack of emotion.
No.
Yeah. Because I think they're trying
You
to
already
tackle that
paid me. I don't need to do anything now.
Yeah.
But speaking about Taken King, with all the information that has come out from E3 and from Gamescom dealing with it, it looks like they are overhauling the entire game. I'm sure you guys have had friends who are like, man, all this Destiny controversy, fuck this, I'm never playing this game again. Do you think this stuff would actually, if you showed it to them, would bring them back to the table to play Destiny?
Maybe. I think, so let me put it this way. I played the original content of Destiny and played it religiously for probably a month, I would say, because I played it with Alex all the time. And then I dead stopped. And I didn't pick Destiny back up again until House of Wolves came back out. So I got both DLCs at once. So that may be the reason I'm not as bitter about Dark Below, because it was like, well, I got Dark Below, but I also got House of Wolves at the same time. So
yeah, I did the same.
Yeah, it's just one big dump. Now, yeah, if they're making big improvements, I'd say you could probably bring some people back in. I don't know that you get new players based off of it. I think if you sold someone like, hey, it's $60, you're getting 3 expansion packs, you get 2 more raids, you get an entire PvE section that you can play with friends. It's like a 3-on-3 arena. There's 8 new maps coming out for Taken King. I feel like if you're going to sell someone on the new game in the beginning, it's like, hey, they fixed a lot of the stuff that was bad. Try this out. But is it weird to you, and this is just a little question I want to pose, I was thinking about it before, is it weird to you that Destiny's like arc is kind of following the same as Xbox One? Like there was this vision for the system and the game when they came out, like this is what this is going to be. And then like a year into it, they're like, yeah, we kind of fucked up. It's not that great. Let's fix everything. And we come back. Like Xbox had this is going to be the entertainment box, and then now this is the games box. Whereas Destiny was like, this is our thing. This is our first DLC. All right, that didn't work out, so we'll give us a second. We'll fix it.
I think part of Bungie's issue with a lot of the stuff was that they had to develop for both systems, and they were not used to it whatsoever. Being solely a Microsoft company for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden being like, we're going to do this massive thing that's even bigger than the entire Halo universe, but we're going to split it, and we're going to do it on both consoles. I think it is funny that's a great analogy that it is following Xbox One and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised, though, to see Bungie maybe come back under the fold of Microsoft in some way, because they've taken a lot of heat lately.
They have, but Sony paid a lot of money to get Destiny's right.
Well, I mean, for the exclusive content, but the exclusive content deal ends in a month?
Yes, but then there's the next year.
It goes again for another year. They pay for another year. Yeah, so Sony has a lack of their first party games, and they just buy up they lie. There's nothing really like first party exclusives, so they'll buy the exclusive rights to this for like a year or whatever else. So I kind of hope that would stop after a little while, so both sides can get to play.
Well,
Go ahead.
If you look at it, last generation, how we're feeling is how Sony fans felt about everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I want to clarify, I have a PlayStation 4. Like, I'm not a hater on it, but there's just nothing to play. Like, I played The Order 1886 out of boredom on the system. But that being said, it's a good game, so don't hate on that. It was a pretty good game, but
we actually on the regular show and in our Facebook group we get into a lot of not serious debates about which system's better. We all love video games just in general. All of us play every system if we can. Some of us, like my co-host Ray, plays Nintendo while I refuse to do that until they give me something better.
Like Zelda. Like Zelda.
Like Zelda. But even still, The Taken King, what are some of the things you guys are looking like really forward to about all the stuff that's come out about it so far?
I'm really looking forward to exploring the Dreadnought. The way they describe it, it's an insurmountable fortress. But they also say that there's like public events. But these public events aren't things that you would discover. You have to follow the breadcrumbs. You have to open a specific door, shoot a rock, do whatever. They haven't really revealed that. And you're going to be, say, on one side of a room, and the other side you're going to see this guy in a glass cage, but you have no idea how to get there. You're going to have to figure all that out. There's rooms that they're just going to say that are treasure areas. They're kind of making it like this giant cave, and you have to go through, because this has most of the storyline is inside of it. The raid is inside of it, which is a huge area. So this is on the size of like a Venus or an Earth, and it's massive. I'm really looking forward to exploring it.
For me, it's really two things. The cop-out would be like, oh, I can't wait to see the new guns, and I can't wait to see the new areas. And I mean, it's a reasonable answer. That's the way it is. I'm actually most looking forward to two things. One, the way they rework everything that already existed and added in these, taken into the other existing missions. I'm actually kind of upset. I was talking with Jim before yesterday. I'll be upset if we don't get another character slot, because I'd like to make a new character and just go through the story again. Like, I'd like to see how it changed. I'm not going to delete one of my 34s because it just took too long to do it. But I'd like to see how it changed. That's one. And two is I just want to see how they make all the core systems function better. Because there's been, like, the lack of vault space is absurd. Because I legitimately have, like I said, I have probably all but 4 of the exotic weapons, and it's more than half of my vault space. So if anything else I want to play, any other guns, I can't carry them around. I want to see how legendaries are handled. That's a big deal. Like, are you going to lose? Because I've heard Bungie themselves say, don't discard your legendaries. They're not useless. Even after all that speculation came out, they've said that. So is Fatebringer useless? Is Vision of Confluence useless? Because that's my 2 go-to guns. And I'm one of those players, that the unfortunate few that don't have a Galahorn. So it's like, I use Hunger Crota. Like, that's a legendary gun. What do I do if I don't have that? So those kind of like those baseline things are what really get me into this. Like, I was in when they announced it either way, because I put so much time into this, but there's a lot of things that they can improve on. I just want to see that they're listening. That's pretty much it for me.
I really want to see them say all legendaries are kept except Fatebringer, so I can watch an entire community of people just melt the fuck down on the internet.
We're not helping you through Skolas anymore.
Oh, God, I love my... Like, I want them to actually put display cases in the tower or have your own little area, and I'm putting a fucking Fatebringer up top, and it's going to have, like, a little trophy around it and everything. I love it.
That's actually...
Vision of Confluence.
That's one of the guns I don't have. Right? No, it's good.
We could do the raid right after this, and we can get it.
I actually have time, because I was supposed to do another episode, but now I have to do it at 9 for Fantastic Four, which, by the way, don't go see.
I have heard.
I audibly in the theater said, "What the fuck?" when they actually showed Doom, like really loud. Like people like looked at me and then they're like, "No, you're right. What the fuck is going on?" It was pretty terrible. Pretty terrible.
Not great.
The thing I'm actually looking forward to the most is the new subclasses. Specifically the Titan subclass, because who the fuck doesn't want to be Thor, not Thorn. And then the Hunter subclass, because I want to know what exactly tethering the enemies together means and what it does, because that looks really cool from the videos.
I'm actually more for the Hunter one. So mine, obviously, my favorite character, I started with a Hunter. My favorite character is the Warlock, but by a long shot. So, I mean, obviously, Star Wars by itself, the fact that you get the Emperor's lightning hands, that's awesome. I was in the second I saw that. But the Hunter is the one that does intrigue me most, and not because of the bow. It's because of his grenade that creates that wall. Like, apparently his grenade creates like a wall so you can lock in people to a certain spot, too. So you can tether, but you like with the bow, but you can also like block off an area. Basically makes a barricade. So that's what makes me like. What does that actually hold down? Like if an ogre is charging you, will it hold down an ogre, or will it just hold down like thrall?
Yeah,
So,
and as you guys, ooh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. That's all I had.
With the new subclasses, apparently, according to some of the stuff that like the developer said, you're required to use some of these subclasses for the new raid. Like you're going to need some of their abilities to actually beat some of the areas or open some of the areas. Like you're going to need that Thor's hammer to whip shit across and like knock something open, or use his bow and arrow to do whatever it is, or just be Emperor Palpatine and
Let me take it back. The thing I'm most excited for is I've heard rumor, and I don't know if this is substantiated, but I've heard rumor that there's an entire mission that takes place in jet black darkness, and the only thing you have to see is your ghost. So if that's the case, that I'm into. That sounds awesome.
I'll wear Glowhoo.
Yeah, exactly. Just gleam our way through it. Team Glowhoo.
That's basically like the beginning of Crota, though.
Yeah, it is, but like that's got the lamps. Apparently, this is legitimately like you can't see anything.
Okay, first off, the first time I ever did Crota, which was with you guys, it was, hey, let's go find these chests on the outside of the fucking map where there are no lanterns. So I already know what that's going to feel like. Like, I'm just going to follow these guys. Wait a minute, why am I getting hit? What the hell is around me?
Oh, man, I stumbled through Crota the first time. I was a hunter, went invisible, and ran all the way up there to the top, and then realized I wasn't good enough to get through it yet. So
yeah. I was really lucky to have you guys drag me along on that one. Except for the whole, let's go find the chests. And then, of course, nope, it's not this door. Which door was it? I don't know. Let's just check the next one. We'll be fine. We were doing Mormons on the chest. Hi. Have you heard about our good Lord Crota? No? Do you have a treasure chest? Nope. Okay, next one.
Yeah, but, sadly, that's actually accurate.
Yeah. So, Taken King, first day buy for you guys?
Definitely.
I pre-ordered it about a month ago.
Same, it's preloaded.
It's digital, downloaded. It's already loaded on my system.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Same thing.
Yeah. The pre-downloads. I actually need to do that myself, but I have to wait until the fiance says it's okay. It's okay.
Gotcha.
You can play with the guys and ignore me for the rest of your life.
I will say one caveat though. So when I went to pre-order it, I actually pre-ordered it on the Xbox, but I actually went into a unnamed retailer to purchase a few games, videojuegos, if you will, and I went in there and I was like, I want to put a pre-order down on Taken King, and they were like, oh, okay, it's going to be $60. And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, I know it's 40, so what is the deal? He's like, well, it's the one that comes with the disc. So there's got to be a way. I know that they're giving away like the first year items for the people who joined up early, but they need to make it much more clear for people who don't know, because, again, going back to that first thing you talked about, the difference between an MMO on a console versus a PC, it's just a completely different animal. People don't understand it yet. You have to differentiate really, really clearly. Like the $40, if you have Destiny already, you only need to spend $40. That's all you need.
Yeah.
If you want to get all the games, because the guy at said unknown game store, that sounds a lot like that phrase, told me, he's like, well, yeah, you could just buy the $60 version and then trade in the disc. So like that shouldn't be the way they're marketing these games. They got to kind of take a step back.
Well, that's the store though. That sounds more like the store, because everything Bungie has said, they actually the first time they announced it, they had the list of if you are already a Destiny player, you only need to spend $40. If you've bought everything already, you're $40. Then you have the $60, and then you have what is it, like the $80 collector's edition or something like that. At GameStop, because we have talked crap about them before on the show many times. No, but I like to see you pussyfoot around it, and yes, I did use the term pussyfoot. That sounds like a guy who's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get an extra $20 out of this dude, and what you really should have done is been like, dude, I've got 16 days invested in Destiny, $40, shut up.
Oh, and as soon as he told me that, I was like, oh, all right, cancel that pre-order. I don't want it anymore. I'll just get it. It's not worth it. For me, it's not worth it. But I mean, yeah. I think the wrench in the whole machine shows up the second they go, well, yeah, but if you buy the $60 version, you get a shader and a ship and a this and a this. Now, granted, this is an old topic, so we're not going to go into this. I don't think it's worth going into, honestly, because they've fixed that since then. But yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Like, again, 16 days of my life. I don't even know. I can't do math right now, but it's like 300 hours or something like that. So.
Well, we had a big talking point on it when that news first broke and the internet had its meltdown about it. And at the time, they hadn't said that they weren't giving anything to first-year players. It was just, we're announcing Taken King, and we want to get, we're going to give all this stuff to new players, and then they were like, in very small writing, they actually said first-year players will be getting their own stuff that you cannot get anywhere else. But, of course, they didn't, like you were saying, Dan, they didn't market it that way. They marketed it to new players, to people that maybe thought about buying the game and haven't yet, and they were like, well, just wait because you'll get all this free crap. On my standpoint on that, even with knowing that first-year players are getting stuff, to me, dances, shaders, and all that stuff really doesn't matter. In all honesty, I would just want a first-year cloak for the hunter, or a really badass mark for the Titan, or a really badass bond, one that you can actually see 79% of the time on the Warlock.
Agreed.
That would be
God.
That would be amazing. That when a new player walked up to you, or was, you sent you a message like, hey, can you help me get through 32? And you jump in there and they're like, oh, this guy is hard shit. Look at what he's wearing. He's been here since the beginning. He knows what he's doing.
Well, that's like when you see guys now. Go ahead, Correa. Sorry, I apologize.
I was going to say, this is the whole marketing thing is more of an Activision problem, not really a Bungie problem. So Bungie can do whatever they want, build their own product. They can make it the best thing possibly. They listen to their community. They go back and forth. But at the end of the day, new user acquisition, $60 versus someone who's upgrading versus $40, and you're trying to market the shit out of it. Activision is going to pump as much money as they humanly possible can through their marketing engines, through their email distribution, social media, whatever it is, and then at the end result, new user acquisition is always going to be a higher yield than it is to get someone who's an existing player, where they're not getting a subscription from.
No, of course, because new players are going to have to pay more, just in general.
It's true. It's a harder sell now, though. It's a harder sell. Everyone wants what's new, man. At this point, it's like, hey, the new game's coming out in now. I mean, right now. I mean, you look at September, October, November, December, those games for specifically for Xbox, there's a good lineup coming. It's going to be hard to be like, hey, go back to this game that came out in 2014. You may like it. I mean, I'm going to play because I'm invested in it. But a new player, like, if you're not going to, I think it would be hard to convince me to go, I'm going to pick Destiny over Rise of the Tomb Raider, or I don't know, even Metal Gear Solid. If you're a Metal Gear player, that's like a big deal. Fallout,
Halo
that's
5.
another one. Yeah, Halo 5, Fallout, like those are all big games.
When Fallout comes out, and if I get a message from anyone, hey man, you want to run something in Destiny? I'll be like, there is no Destiny, not until this game's done.
So I'll see you in 2017.
And there's no end to Fallout.
There isn't, and I actually got the collector's edition with the Pip-Boy. So
oh, you did?
I did.
Oh,
so
I'm so fucking jealous.
I'm going to be playing it with that on, and I'll probably one day jump on Destiny, and Correa will be on, and he'll be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm like, "Not bad. Got my Pip-Boy playing this game," and he's gonna be like, "I'm fucking out of this party. Fuck you."
You wouldn't be the first.
I actually got lucky. I got in on the second round of Amazon stuff because somebody at GameStop was like, "Yeah, man, just pre-order the regular version, and we'll have more versions of it out in the morning." And he was just like, "Just call once we open, and we'll flip it for you." And I was like, "Okay, cool, not a big deal." So I called in the morning. They're like, "Yeah, we were sold out online at 10 o'clock. So it wouldn't have even mattered if you called us at 10:01 after we opened. We wouldn't have had any." And I was like, "All right, cool." A buddy of mine keeps up with the Amazon stuff. He was like, "Do it now, do it now, do it now." And I managed to get my reserve locked in. So super stoked about that.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I will be taking pictures.
You should.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of those.
Yes.
I don't want to see a lot of them. I'm going to be pissed. I'm just going to be jealous.
I just want to see it in action. I want to be like, oh yeah, like, oh here's my Pip-Boy, and like I want to see it working.
I will probably take it to work with me with my phone in it and just use it as my phone holder.
That'd be amazing.
Well, it has a phone holder in it. Like you can actually just jam it on in.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I take the subway to work. I'd like to just sit there and like pop open the subway and be like, oh yeah, let me just read my Pip-Boy really quick, and people around me, what the fuck is this? What is this guy doing?
Did he come from the future? Do you have a message for me?
I did pop open a Game Boy Color on the subway, and people were staring. And that was about a year ago. People loved that. There was a girl next to me she was mind blown that I was playing Game Boy Color Tetris.
Nice. Nice. I'm pretty sure she was like, "Are you real?" 1994? It's calling you back, Alex.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
We don't need Game Boy Colors. So with that, guys, Taken King, you're definitely getting it. You'll definitely suggest it to other people, correct? From what we at least know now
100%.
and what Bungie has done with Destiny and whatnot. So why don't you guys tell everybody where they can find you if they want to game with you. Maybe they just want to have a chat. By the way, ladies who listen to the show, Alex Gray is very hot. He's a beautiful man. Send him really terrible messages about that. Thank you.
Yep, send me whatever you want.
I guess I'll go because I've been maintaining it. So if you want to check us out on Twitter. It's @KillBattalion. Basically, you'll find out when we go live on Twitch, when we go live on YouTube, or put videos up on YouTube, or any other nonsense we feel like posting. Check us out on YouTube. Do a search for The Kill Battalion, all one word. We post tutorial videos, we post gaming videos, we post all of our live streams from Twitch. And Twitch is very easy, twitch.tv/TheKillBattalion. We go live with a whole bunch of different games. So.
Also, be prepared for inappropriate jokes. I mean,
absolutely.
Funny. They're hilarious.
Very inappropriate jokes.
Very inappropriate.
Yeah, I was kind of keeping it a little tame on this here podcast because we're guests. But it's an over 18 Twitch channel and YouTube channel and my existence.
Let's just say that if you are a fan of Herbert from Family Guy, an Asian guy who screams "Oh no" in the middle of a Tiger Woods backswing, or just still my favorite. I still say.
I wish we could find that.
I know. I've been looking, man. I've been looking.
Or just in general, guys cursing at each other. Some of them drinking, some of them not drinking. But I've done enough drugs in my life to not be sober for the rest of it. Check it out on Twitch. Alex, where can people find you? And don't say New Jersey. Don't say New Jersey.
The Empire State Building.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep. But anyways, now you can find me, same thing as Dan said, the Kill Battalion on YouTube, Kill Battalion on Twitch, Kill Battalion on Twitter. And if not, my gamer tag is Korea, which I would probably have to write in there because no one is going to be able to pronounce it. But you'll see it listed on the Kill Battalion on some of our videos, and you can find me there.
Basically, it's Korea.
There you go.
That's phonetics right there. That's how you do it.
That's true. Yeah, mine is. I should put that in there. My for Xbox is the words "and Dan" with an extra A and an extra N at the end. So if you ever seen Dude, Where's My Car? I'm ashamed of it. I know I made it when I was like 14 years old, but it's like "and Dan." So that's
Dan.
That's my screen. So.
Okay. I am Kiku. You should know where to find me because you listen to this podcast. If you don't, you wandered in here to this podcast accidentally and you kind of liked it, but you'd rather hear me curse a whole bunch about a lot of different topics, you can check us out, Neek the Podcast. Neek the Podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, obviously because you're here, and of course our Neek the Podcast Facebook page. I will sometimes be on the Kill Battalion stuff. If I'm not working, if I'm not podcasting, and I'm actually in, and Dan doesn't let me know we're broadcasting, because I want to say awful, terrible things as well. So with that, guys, thank you very much for being on the show. And again, Jim Pike, Gunner.
Jim Pike, Gunner.
Jim Pike, Gunner. I'm trying to plug it.
Who is the Kill Battalion, who couldn't be here today, unfortunately. He had to, I don't know, something about in-laws, so he's probably really not enjoying himself right now. But we had a lot of fun without him. Jim, next time we'll get you on the show. He who came down from the mountain and gave us Destiny. With that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out the Kill Battalion. Check out Neek the Podcast. And with that, keep it nerdy, and we are gone.